Hello everyone, welcome to the Smashy Business Show. Today is Monday, 17th of March, and my name is Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Ward Ahmed, and we've got really good topics for you today. Now, for today's headlines, firstly, His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed's official visit to the U.S. begins today. The Telegram founder, Pavel Durov, is allowed to temporarily leave France, according to AFP. And finally, and this one's a really exciting one, Mohammed Binghatti, the chairman of Binghatti Holding, has won a Ramadan bidding war for a 35 million dirham car number plate, DD5 to be specific.
And stay with us till the end to find out how Kareem used the blue ocean theory to expand in the MENA region and beating competition from global players like Uber and everyone. So yeah, let's kick off with the first story. Deputy ruler of Abu Dhabi and National Security Advisor, His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan has begun, to be honest, most probably right now, his official US visit. And he will meet senior officials at the White House to strengthen economic and technology ties, discussing regional challenges and reinforce long-standing US-UAE strategic partnership.
Now, sources say Sheikh Tahnoon is expected to meet Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Now, a key focus will be on securing access to advanced AI semiconductors, particularly from NVIDIA, as the U.S. has imposed restrictions on high-powered chip exports since 2023.
And the UAE is investing heavily in AI infrastructure and data. Everyone knows that. Neighbors Saudi Arabia are also doing that. They're aiming to become a global leader in the sector, which is AI. However, upcoming US regulations could further limit access to cutting-edge semiconductors, and His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon will push for policy adjustment, arguing that these chips are essential for UAE's AI ambitions.
And they definitely are essential.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen DeepSeek. Now, he will also highlight major UAE investments in the U.S., including Philippines-based MGX's $100 billion AI infrastructure project. Now, despite efforts to distance from Chinese tech firms like Hawaii, the UAE remains in the second-tier category for AI chip access under current U.S. export controls.
And yes, the US export controls were put in by Biden, the outgoing president, and now we have Mr. Trump, Mr. Donald Trump as the president, and they're rethinking all the things that Mr. Biden have done. And Trump officials are also reviewing these policies, and Sheikh Tahnoon's visit may influence future decisions. We did a story on Saturday, and the idea is that it's 50,000 units of power that you can just buy, but there is a clause in that law that 100,000 can be done, but it should be government-to-government contact. So let's see, Mr. Yeah.
Majid, there is also something we didn't give them context on. So, you know, the U.S. has basically imposed restrictions on the amount of NVIDIA chips that other countries can receive, and the UAE landed in Category 2. Now, there's also actually Category 1. And I believe, Majid, it's Category 1 that can receive as much as they would like.
Yeah, there's 20 countries in that. Big players, Japan, Korea, not North Korea, South Korea. And all the friends of US basically are in Category 1. UAE and Saudi were put in Category 2. That's, but I don't know why. It's a very big question.
It's interesting.
Let's see. His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon will present the case. So let's see what happens there.
Now, the White House and Commerce Department spokespeople have not commented, and the UAE embassy has declined to provide further details. His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon's visit comes at the Trump's administration's request as the U.S. reevaluates global chip regulations that were expanded under the Biden administration. Now, if you know one thing about Trump, and you've seen Trump's investments in the Middle East, you know, the Trump Gulf course that he has with Hussein Sajwani, the kind of relationship that he has with Hussein Sajwani, the Trump towers that he has scattered all over the Middle East. I believe there's also a luxury resort that's being built in Oman with the Trump organization. If you see all of that, I think it does hint towards the fact that there is a high chance that the UAE can move to Category 1 and receive all the NVIDIA chips that they need. So I think it is a high possibility that it's going to happen.
It's just sometimes you have to realize that whatever Biden's policy were, sorry, a little US politics, but Joe Biden's policies were very pro-American, like Trump. Trump is also pro-American. But I think Mr. Joe Biden didn't understand the importance of Middle East, which everyone right now knows that Middle East is the powerhouse, has the money, has everything that you need, and you need to keep continuing doing trade with them, be it AI chips or any other thing. You have to keep continuing trade. If you don't, you'll miss out on a lot of things that I think are important for any country, to be honest, right now. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. As more things come out, more news come out, more MOUs, contracts, something comes out, we'll tell you. But let's move on to one of a very important person who was very important last year when he was arrested. So Mr. Pavel Durov, he's the founder of Telegram. He has been allowed to temporarily leave France, and this was an exclusive report from AFP. I was telling Vard in the morning, it's really interesting that everyone quoted AFP because it's such a sensitive matter.
Including Reuters.
Yeah, it's very rare that one big wire agency like Reuters quotes AFP in their headline, and they did. But the details are that Pavel Durov, he's a Russian-born founder and CEO of Telegram. He moved Telegram to Dubai, and he has been permitted by French authorities to leave France temporarily because he's on country arrest right now. And amid an ongoing investigation into criminal activities on the messaging app, Durov was arrested at Le Bourget airport near Paris. I hope I pronounced it right. And he was arrested in August 2024 and subsequently placed under formal investigation, and he had a ban on leaving France.
Now, an investigation judge granted Durov permission to leave France for several weeks, and he reportedly departed for Dubai on Saturday morning. Now, French prosecutors allege that Durov's involvement in facilitating illegal activities through Telegram, such as drug trafficking and money laundering, while under investigation, Durov was required to post bail of 5 million euros.
That's big. I don't even have €5, but yeah. Durov co-founded Telegram with his brother Nikolai in 2013, aiming to provide a secure messaging platform. And the app has since grown to approximately 950 million active users. According to him, on his Telegram post, he said they've crossed the 1 billion mark. But the official numbers, the last numbers were 950 million. In 2014, Durov left Russia after refusing to comply with government demand for user data, leading to his departure from his previous platform, which was VKontakte. So yeah, that's what happened before.
Now, after leaving Russia, Durov obtained citizenship in St. Kitts and Nevis and later in France. He then relocated to Dubai in 2017, and he became a citizen of the United Arab Emirates in February 2021. Now, Durov's move to Dubai was influenced by favorable tax policies and a supportive environment for tech entrepreneurs, but I would also say a supportive environment for privacy.
Yeah, that's one of the main things that he promoted, that if you're on Telegram, your data will never be shared with the authorities. It's going to be private. But despite the ongoing investigation in France, Durov continues to advocate for user privacy and freedom of expression on digital platform. Telegram has faced scrutiny in various countries for its encryption policies and the potential misuse of the platform for illicit activities.
Now, the outcome of the French investigation remains uncertain, and it is unclear how long Durov will stay in Dubai during this period. Now, being placed under formal investigation in France does not imply guilt, but it indicates that authorities believe there is sufficient evidence to continue the probe.
Yeah, I remember I was telling Vard that in August we did the whole story, and the whole idea is that if somehow Pavel Durov gets a guilty verdict in this case, it's going to be very difficult for other founders of big platform, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, anyone who has a platform, and if there is any illegal activity on it, they can be found complicit or helping or assisting in the crime itself. So it will set a big precedent, and that is why a lot of experts, the law experts, the French law experts, when the story came out, everyone was of the opinion that nothing will happen. He'll just get a slap on the wrist, and then he'll be let go. But what do you think? It's like if you build a platform and someone comes and uses that platform for illegal activity, should there be case on you? or it should be the case on that person who is doing, who's using your platform.
I completely see what you mean. I think what Pavel Durov, in itself, him as a character, he's really commendable because of the fact that I remember there was the case of him trying to move Telegram to the U.S. And then actually finding out that I believe it was the FBI or is it the CIA? One of them was basically trying to hire, was basically trying to insert employees that were a part of the FBI and the CIA. And for Pavel Durov, that was a big no. Because for him, his users' privacy was such a big thing. And I think the fact that he's an Emirati citizen, it does imply a lot. Because in this country, your privacy is everything. And the fact that he's based Telegram in the UAE, I think that's so interesting. And I think from the case of France, it really does just imply that they want more information on people. And I think this is a really great moment for Candace Owens to swoop in. Just give her time. Give her time. She's going to swoop in because she had, she did build an entire documentary around Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. So for her, this is just another, they're trying to use user data to change public perception.
And you took the name and it reminded that he tweeted actually that I have no personal grudges against Pavel Durov when this thing happened, because there was a lot of pressure. There was all the weird news is going out. We did a fact check on one of the stories. I remember that there's a contract between France and UAE for Rafale jets, and it was signed in Expo 2020, which happened in 2021, but it was signed there. And everyone, as soon as this arrest happened in the night, around UAE in the night, morning, everyone was like, oh, they're cancelling their orders and UAE is doing this, that. The very first thing you do when something happens like this is go to official channels. You always go to official channels. You go to multiple sources, multiple credible sources.
At least two.
And go, the double check thing. Always go to sources and see if the story is following up.
And what did you find?
There was nothing. It was nothing. And then I remember one of the Khalij Times journalists, he tweeted that all this is, whatever is being said, is just from a weird website, very weird name, in some other language. People are translating it and using it to report. But obviously, if UAE cancels a contract with France, they'll put it on their social media platforms. They were not going to do it secretly.
I don't see the possibility of that happening, Majid, but I do see the possibility of the UAE protecting Pavel Durov.
And they did. I remember the UAE foreign... Again, sorry, very old story. It was in August, but official channel of the UAE, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the minister, not the minister, the secretary, I remember she was a lady, they both tweeted out that we are looking into it and we will follow all the legal procedures. We will follow the official channels. And we're not just going to break deals and all that stuff. So the thing is, whenever you see some story which relates to government, UAE, not even UAE, any government in the world, just go to the official sources. They'll tell you. Otherwise, the next step, a journalistic step, is go to the main credible sources which have been reporting on stuff for I don't know how long. But go to Bloomberg, go to Wall Street Journal, go to the National, go to the Khalij Times, go to the Gulf News. These are like credible sources.
Smashy business.
Come to Smashy Business, yes.
We
will never, we always try to go and find a story and check it through multiple sources. Or at least try to find a person who is close to the matter. So you always have to check it. I think it's the laziness of the people that they just see someone tweeting about it. The funny thing was, one of the accounts which tweeted this, that UAE is killing the contracts with France over Rafale jets, it had like 11 million followers. I correctly remember because Hind pointed it out that this person is tweeting this, and she has 11 million followers. So imagine the kind of, what would you say, misinformation that you can spread as an influencer. So you, as an influencer, should have a very important role.
You have such a small responsibility. And I think, just on the topic of influencers, honestly, you guys may hate influencers, but big companies love them. They love influencers. They make campaigns do well. For example, last week when I was at Snapchat, Majid, I just gone around asking people, how do you engage with Snapchat during Ramadan? The campaign now has 177K views organically. And why? Because you have those big influencer faces on it. Just very recently, there was this collab between the TikTok influencer Talia Fawaz, a part of the Fawaz sisters, and Not Bakehouse. So Not Bakehouse, they make really good matcha. You need to try it out.
We'll try it.
Vanilla salted foam caramel with their normal matcha. Maybe get coconut milk.
I'll have to write it down.
I'll send it to you. But
I just go and order a cappuccino.
They actually had a collab,
Nice.
and what I saw from the videos is that so many people showed up to Not just to see Talia, and I feel like for the longest time ever, the kind of with Not, it was like such a slow progression, by the way, with the kind of people that they attracted.
Yeah.
What I saw first is that it was Emiratis, and then right after that, more people started discovering it. Then it's almost, I feel like it's becoming something common between everyone from different cultures.
Cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. But what's it called? And now with Talia, you know, I feel like they're getting Gen Z's attention.
Nice.
They're definitely getting Gen Z's attention. But it's like it's collaborations like these that you see that really make the difference. Like, where else did I see something that was so interesting? Oh, remember when I remember when I saw the launch of Milaf Cola.
Yeah.
So basically in Saudi Arabia, they launched this cola that is made of only dates, which I still think is crazy. I need to taste it. And I remember one of the brands involved, they used Ronaldo for an ad. Do you remember? They used him for this date milk ad, and it's like things like that are iconic.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't remember the brand's name, but I know there was camel milk and I know there was Ronaldo. So that link, it definitely works. But just, you know, on the topic of big names, you know, Mohammed Binghatti has just purchased a Dubai license plate DD5 for almost $9 million.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
That's nearly $35 million dirhams, and it was at a charitable event. And the event took place at Armani Hotel in Burj Khalifa. It raised 83.6 million for the Father's Endowment Campaign. It's a fund. It supports healthcare initiatives for those in need.
Now, the auction was really crazy. It saw fierce competition, including a 13-year-old. Yeah. A 13-year-old schoolboy bidding on the behalf of his father. Now, while he lost the DD5 plate to Binghatti, he secured the DD24 for 6.3 million dirhams, and other high-value plates included DD12 for 12.8 million dirhams, DD15 for 9.2 million dirhams, and DD77, personal favorite of mine, for 12.6 million dirhams.
It was so the Father Endowment Campaign. The fund has been launched by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, the ruler of Dubai, and the initiative uses funds to provide medical aid. The Roads and Transport Authority supplied 5 unique number plates, while Etisalat and Du offered 20 rare mobile numbers.
Now I want to be a part of that. I need to be a part of that.
So the auction highlighted Dubai's strong philanthropic culture and passion for exclusive number plates. And you must have, if you've been to Dubai, you must have seen exclusive cars, exclusive colors on cars, and sometimes very exclusive number plates as well.
Now, a similar auction is being held in Abu Dhabi on Sunday and Monday, featuring 444 special plates, including numbers 22 and motorcycle plate 1. Now, in 2023, a Dubai auction set a Guinness World Record when plate P7 sold for 55 million dirhams, supporting the 1 Billion Meals Endowment Initiative. Now, while this is a lot of money, and while in my personal belief, don't attack me, it's a waste of it's a waste of money for a car plate. They are supporting great causes, and in this case, it was a Ramadan charity auction, and I think that's what. But for me, it was a 13-year-old. I mean, come on. I mean, this
Imagine
generation.
the confidence the father had in the 13-year-old that he's just sent him to the auction and was like,
think about that.
Yeah, spend the money.
That is
just get me those number plates,
that
right?
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
13-year-old, and he was able to get a plate for 6 million dirhams.
Nice. But he went against Mohammed Binghatti's representative. There were like 3 or 4 representatives from Mohammed Bingatti. He personally wasn't at the event.
I think it was Abdullah Binghatti who represented him.
Yeah. So, but it's funny that 13-year-old going into a bidding war against a very well-established company and their representatives.
But you know, if you actually think about it, Majid, I believe a 13-year-old is the smartest tactic anyone can use, because he'd garner a lot of empathy. Because you're like, man, he's a kid. Like,
just let him win.
Let him have it. Let him win. You know what I mean? Like, we've won. Like, let him have it.
Yeah.
But you know what this honestly makes me think about, by the way, like just in the spirit of Ramadan and everything, that show that we were all discussing over the weekend, Ma'awiya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so basically, there's this show that came out during Ramadan by the NBC and Shahid,
Yeah.
and it's called Ma'awiya, and it's actually about Ma'awiya ibn Abi Sufyan,
Yeah.
and the show was made using $100 million. What
Big budget.
The number really sounds weird out of
Yeah.
my mouth, but it was made using $100 million in Tunisia, and then it was banned in Iran and Iraq.
Iraq, yeah.
And by the way, the show is really good.
Nice.
It's really good.
Do you think it's good?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Because
From
there
what?
was a lot of debate on because there is a sect problem. There's a sect thing in Islam that Sunnis and Shias, they treat a lot of people in history differently. I think Iran and Iraq, they follow Shiaism. So that was the problem. But yeah, irrespective of the fact, there's this very big show, I remember, something Osman, which came out from Turkey, and it became a global hit, right?
That's what my family would watch every single day. I know
And
what
it
you're
had
talking
so
about.
many episodes. I started and I was like, I can't finish it. It's too long.
Same.
People did, right?
I totally agree with you. I
Yeah.
couldn't finish it either. But I think it's Majid, like what you said about the different sects in the country. I think what you said is really interesting because, I was having this like discussion and I
Yeah.
don't know if people know this, but basically what it is that, by the way, Iraqis, they have a lot of intellectuals.
Nice.
They have a lot of intellectuals in Iraq. And I believe it was it's like, by the way, it's like a saying in history that you had the Iraqis and they were just completely intelligent. And then you had the Egyptians who,
Yeah.
they wrote a lot of poetry, a lot of books. They had a beautiful thaqafa. And then it was actually the Lebanese who were the publishers.
Nice.
They were the people most famous for like publishing, like al-tabi'. And so, when you connect the dots and you think about it, how Ma'awiya, it was banned in Iraq and Iran.
Yeah.
It really does make you think of, how religion is sometimes used to divide
Yeah.
people apart. But it's a great show. I think it's a really great show.
The thing about these kinds of shows is that history is so subjective that if you're looking at something, look at it for entertainment value. Never look at it for
I agree with
religious
you.
lessons or religious history. It's always, even the best, I think, Hollywood made or best movie ever made using a biography has some elements of exaggeration in it or some dramatization.
Yeah, they're always trying to prioritize to our emotional appeal.
So the main thing is always watch these things from the perspective of entertainment, not from the perspective of, I'll get knowledge or I'll understand someone. So yeah, 100 million spent on a drama, got banned in 2 countries, but yeah, doing good. So it's fine. I think they'll recover their money through broadcasting rights.
Yeah.
Let's go to our section where we tell you where one of the companies in the Middle East have used some strategy to do something great. Today we're talking about Blue Ocean strategy and Careem's market expansion using this strategy. So Careem, the Dubai-based ride-hailing company, it was acquired by Uber for $3.1 billion, applied the Blue Ocean strategy by creating a new market space rather than competing in an overcrowded one. So instead of directly challenging Uber in the global game and other global players in the region, they tailored their services to regional needs.
Now, they localized operations by offering cash payments, integrating local transport options, and addressing unique market challenges like unreliable mapping systems. Careem also expanded beyond ride-hailing into food delivery, payments, and even micro-mobility.
And so by identifying underserved customer needs, Careem avoided direct price wars and built a strong brand rooted in Middle Eastern culture. And this differentiation allowed it to dominate the regional market, ultimately leading to an Uber acquisition.
But Majid, why is it called the Blue Ocean strategy? What's the blue here? Where's the ocean?
The blue ocean is that the ocean is very big. You don't need to be in one area or you don't need to own the whole ocean.
They do always say that
it's always a big
it's better
ocean.
to be a small fish instead of being a big fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
But I think, with Careem, what makes them so lovely, it's the fact that Like, by the way, it's not just the fact that you can order taxi, you can order Uber, you can order groceries. I believe that came
Yeah.
last year. They have something called Kareem Box.
Yeah.
So I could like send an item to Majid's house. You know, the Kareem Box could come, pick it up for me, and
Yeah.
bring it all the way to Majid. And you know what other service they have? And I didn't know this existed. It's so cool. I can get Kareem to go all the way to Dubai Mall and purchase an item from a clothing store
And bring it?
to me.
Nice.
While that one's a bit more or like a store that has no delivery, I could make them go to that store, pick up that item, order it for
Nice.
me, pay for it, and
And come
deliver
in.
it.
Yeah.
This is next level.
Yeah, it's
This is
convenience.
truly next level.
To be honest, this is Dubai and this is UAE and this is, to be honest, now the Middle East for you. Where convenience, I guess, we'll talk about this. I have this crazy idea just now. We'll talk about how consumer-centric approach works. We'll find a brand and we'll talk about that. So yeah, that's it for today's Smashy Business Show. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. You'll find us as Smashy Business everywhere.
And don't forget, we also have a daily business newsletter that's literally packed with the latest news and trends and deep dives. You can subscribe to it using the link in the description.
This is the Smashy Business Show. It's a Smashy Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. We're proud to have 1.5 million monthly listeners across all platforms. A huge thank you for being part of our journey if you're listening. Take care. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.